This is a 1981 Toyota pickup that I purchased from Bring a Trailer for $21,000. And today I'm breaking down everything that's right, what's wrong, and everything it's going to take to make it perfect. This is a 45-year-old truck, but the wears, the tears, the little flaws that it has, it's what shows the life that it has lived. The history is what makes this truck special. Therefore, restoring it matters. Now from the outside, this thing looks dialed, but once you come up close to it, you start to see its flaws. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted a Toyota pickup. This same exact era. The boxy body, the old school lines, the simple interior, manual everything, it just hit something in my soul. You know how cars just pull you in? That 1981 pickup was that for me. I kept seeing it in photos, movies, but it was also out on the farmlands here in Texas or out on the trails. And I told myself one day, but owning one was harder than just wanting it. Rewind 5 years ago. I'd finally hit a personal milestone and I told myself it's time to buy this truck. But our first attempt did not go as planned. We were driving back from an event. We were trying to bid on this black pickup, same exact year, seconds on the clock, adrenaline was pumping. Both me and my fiance were super excited, but we lost the auction. I really wanted that truck, but losing that auction made it real. A couple weeks later, another one pops up. This time, it's blue. At first, I was not convinced, but the more I looked at it, the blue carpet, the blue doors, the blue interior, the blue exterior, this thing was sick. Still, none of that mattered unless I won the auction. It looked perfect. So I go ahead, I start placing the bid, I have my fiance next to me, but the Wi-Fi sucks and it keeps freezing on us. Up until the point where we're getting really close to zero, and I remember I said, I'm gonna go all in and I'm not gonna stop until this truck is mine. And once the timer hit zero, it was like a moment of just, did we win, did we not? We were the last bid, the internet was super bad, and then all of a sudden, we find out we won. The truck is ours. And just like that, I had the truck that little kid me always dreamed of owning. In no way, shape, or form am I associated with Bring a Trailer. Am I bashing on them or the dealership that sold me this truck through Bring a Trailer? I'm just simply going to show you the status of the vehicle. Now this is 5 years after I purchased it, and with it being a 45-year-old truck, a lot of this stuff is expected and maintenance is critical on these classics. All right, let's geek out for a second because this truck back here comes from one of the most legendary Toyota eras ever.
Toyota four-wheel drive truck. Drive it today and you be the judge.
Toyota, you got it.
Under the hood, this thing sports the iconic Toyota 22R, a carbureted 2.4-liter inline-4 known for its reliability. Toyota also offered a fuel-injected version, the 22RE, beginning in the early 1980s, as pickups transitioned towards electronic fuel injection. In 1981, this 2.4-liter four-cylinder made about 97 horsepower and 129 pound-foot of torque. Not fast, not even close, but these engines were famous for being damn near unkillable.
I'll buff out.
All you needed to do was change the oil, and these things would run forever. Now mine runs fine. It had a problem where the carburetor got gummed up. We actually posted a video on how we fixed that problem on our channel. If you want to follow along and see everything we're doing to this pickup, then make sure you subscribe. All right guys, so I'm gonna turn on the truck. It's been about 3 months since I last turned it on, probably a little bit less. So this is a carb engine, so we're gonna activate the choke. Based on the manual, we're going to pump it once, clutch in, pump one more time. We don't want to flood it. Come on. It is cold right now. Come on, baby. There we go. It always does that to me. It always does that to me. So after I turn it on, after it's been off for a long time, the next morning, it's gonna be perfectly fine. Quick fun fact, Toyota didn't switch the pickup to fuel injection until the mid-80s. So this old school carb, this is peak analog driving. This is from the days when you could actually fix your own truck with a screwdriver and a wrench. Now, if you look at the headlights, turn signals, or taillights, you can remove them by simply using a screwdriver. 1981 was part of Toyota's third generation pickup, built from 1978 to 1983. This was the era that Toyota became famous globally for reliability. These trucks were used everywhere: the US, Australia, South America, Africa, anywhere you needed something bulletproof. Apart from this steering wheel, mine still has the original interior, and what I love about it is just how simple it is. The straight edges, the circle headlights, the plastic tiny mirrors, it's pure 80s magic. But there are parts that are not perfect. We have rust, we have leaks, we have what I like to call old school freckles. And someone definitely attempted a backyard paint job at some point. This truck runs a 5-speed manual with Toyota's legendary W Series transmission. When maintained properly, this thing can last forever. But my shifter has seen better years. It does not like to stick in second gear. You see, it just came out of it. It'll just pop off as I'm coming into a corner or a turn. So I just have to make sure to hold it in second gear so that it does not pop off. Definitely something we're gonna have to fix. 1981 interiors were super basic. Semi-cloth seats, zero electronics, minimal gauges, and a dashboard that looks like it was designed with a ruler. But Toyota built these interiors to last. People still daily drive 81s with their original materials. Mine is doing all right. It's got these cracks in the dash, which is the one thing that really annoys me. The seats are doing all right to be 45 years old. I did have to swap out the steering wheel. It was cracked and it was just annoying to hold. And then the headliner, I think, is in mint condition for it being a 45-year-old truck. It's doing pretty good. But the radio, every time I see it, it just hurts me. The whack job that they did to put this radio, not good in my opinion. So I want to go back to either stock, or I've seen there are some companies that are doing kind of modern Bluetooth radios that look retro. I might be doing that, and I love this, guys. Back in the days when people would just smoke, so sick. Another fun fact, this truck still runs a solid front axle. Toyota didn't switch their US pickups to independent front suspension until 1986. But right now the seals on them are leaking, so we'll definitely have to check that out and see what's going on. And one last thing, probably the most important, the truck is losing brake fluid from the load sensing proportionate valve. Load sensing proportionate valve. Hopefully I said that right. So you guys can see, this is not good. We're gonna have to fix that. This truck adjusts the rear brake pressure based on how much weight is in the bed. It's a simple mechanical system Toyota used to keep the rear brakes from locking up when the truck is unloaded. As far as aftermarket parts goes, the truck came with Rebel Racing 15-inch wheels wrapped around Centennial all-terrain 33-inch tires. I really like the stance, not sure if I'm gonna keep it. It's got Bilstein shock absorbers and it's got some sort of lift on it, but I'm not sure what it is. And that is the one thing that is bugging me like crazy, guys, because the angle at which the hanger sits, I'm not happy with. Just straight down, and the ride quality sucks. It's really bouncy. This is one of the things I'm gonna be addressing and fixing. I wanna make sure that we add the right leaf springs and have this hanger at the right angle. But for now, it will do. It came with this awesome roll bar along with the KC lights up top. This is one of the things that I'm definitely not taking off and really love about this truck. It's got this aftermarket inclinometer that I'm not too stoked on. It's got a picture of a Jeep, so I might be taking that off or maybe adding one with a pickup, and the Sony stereo that you guys saw. And finally, it came with this Marlin Crawler rear bumper. I love it some days, I don't like it others. I might be trying to fabricate my own bumper and I want to do something really nice and clean. Let me know what you guys think we should do back here. Should we leave this bumper? Do you guys like it? Or should we go with something a little bit more clean, modern? Let me know what you guys think. So what's the plan? I want to restore all of the things that I showed you, but in a way that respects what made these trucks iconic. I'm thinking OEM plus restoration. It's not like there's much we have to do. So I'm gonna be adding new suspension. We're gonna make sure the interior gets fixed up. Definitely fixing that dash. It's all cracked and it looks horrible. We might restore the seats. I'm gonna be restoring the radio and the speakers, and make sure that all the mechanical parts are working perfectly, especially that load sensing proportioning valve. That's probably the first on the list. I want to fix all these things so that the truck keeps living on. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button. If you guys want to see this truck and everything that we're going to do to it, make sure to subscribe. We're not only doing things to this truck, we do everything Toyota off-road in this channel. So you're going to see modern trucks, and you're going to see us go on adventures and do a bunch of installs. If you guys are into that, you're going to want to subscribe. And fellas, see you in the next one.